goddamn, I had to start a whole nother live from a whole nother thing. So I'm gonna give you guys another minute to come up in here. Sorry about all the, I had technical difficulties. I lost the audio, and so I had to back out of that live. Not really back out of the live, but some weird shit happened, and that live disappeared, and now I had to cop on another preset live so I wouldn't have to type shit in while I'm driving on the road. So do me a favor and hit the 1 button if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, hit the 1. Let me make sure I still have my audio going. I'll give you guys a minute. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me, put a 1 in the put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I do kind of plan on talking about the Clown Shoe Lucas and Brandon Tatum, even though I had I had planned to do other lives earlier this week in regards to them, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of just really nothing is. It's just not really. I don't know. I'm getting burnt out on addressing these fools, really. But because my last live got dropped, which doesn't usually happen. It's usually, like, if I get a phone call during the live stream, the sound would go out. That is for whatever reason that happens. So all I would do is back out of YouTube, come back, and it would ask me to resume if I wanted to resume the previous live or the live I was. It didn't option this time. It just completely went away. So I had to start another live with some shit I already pre-made or a pre-planned live, so that I wouldn't have to shit in while I'm driving. You don't want to do that. So this is why you see the Clown Shoe Lucas in the title. But yes, I am going to address that because specifically the Clown Shoe Lucas, because it pertains to what I want to discuss, and that is the attack on our children. Okay, now these people, right? Some people want to call them leftists, some people want to call them woke, or whatever the case may be, but it's a lot more devious than that. All right, these people are not just leftist woke motherfuckers. Okay, these people are evil. They're evil. They're sick. They're psychotic. They have horrible designs on your children, and what they want to do is steer children toward this behavior, so that when they get older, they have this sick mentality, and they bring children in the world that they raise with this sick mentality, and then it just grows exponentially from there. I'm talking about this whole particularly the transgenderism stuff, right? They are really hell-bent on trying to convince children that there's no such thing as gender, there's multiple, there's hundreds of thousands of genders, they're non-binary, and or they them, and all this pronoun bullshit to confuse children. This is what it's doing. It's confusing children, and there are a lot of factors to this thing I'm about to say. We had the pandemic, right? That started in 2020, right? Came to the United States and it did all this whacked out shit. All this whacked out shit happened. And children of the young ages were deleting themselves at a rate that has never been seen before. You're talking about children who would even think that this child would even think about self-deletion, but they're doing it. 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 14 years old, young children that what would put them in the mind of doing these type of things. And now, and around the same time, this whole transgenderism stuff being pushed on the children, all the pornographic books, all the the teachers bringing toys for sex ed class and showing you how to suck a D and lick a P and eat an A and all this other shit. All these things in a tornado together are sweeping our children away mentally, psychologically, socially. They're being told that the only way to be socially accepted is if you accept these ideas, these sick ideas, these ideas that where did they come from? Where did they come from? Right? The community, right? The T. The T in the elemental PT community, the trannies, the transformers, they are very small. There's compared to the entire population. They are maybe 0.2% or some shit like that. 2% or some, I forgot the exact number, the exact percentage. But only about 2% of people in the world are transformers. But they feel like they need to have this representation as though they are 90% of the people in the world, right? They got to be represented in all the movies. They got to be represented in all the TV shows and the books and the video games, and it really doesn't add up, right? So loud and proud out in the world that people actually think that they're everywhere and that, oh, well, these are just normally occurring people. People are born this way, and then you have that whole thing. Oh, I'm born this way. I'm born being in a different person's body, all this bullshit. If that were the case, right, the percentage of people that are actually turned out to be transformers are so small that it would probably, if people were born like that, it would be basically a genetic a mutation or a genetic anomaly that is not normal, right? Think about it, right? Down syndrome is not normal. People born with Down syndrome are few and far between. It is a genetic mutation, a genetic anomaly that rarely occurs, right? No shade to the Down syndrome people, but they don't exist in large numbers. But you don't see them being represented like transformers are, right? No one is going around forcing movie theaters and books. They're not, right? They're not forcing classes about great people in history that had Down syndrome. And we got to focus on the Down syndrome more so than what they did to achieve history, right? No one is going around having a Down month. All right, there's no Down month. There's no Down flag. There's none of that. There's no one griping about representation of Down people. No one is doing it. But so then why is this being forced down our throats in schools in regards to the transformers, in regards to the elemental P community? Why are we pushing this shit onto the children? When I was a kid in school, and I was in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, all the way through middle school, right? There was no like sexual shit going, like they weren't just, it wasn't out there in the open like it is now, right? I discovered my own sexuality in my own time, right? And my, parents being what they were in the 80s, right? Parents being what they were in the 80s didn't really talk to children about sex, all right? They didn't say, my mother and my stepdaddy never came up to me and told me that I had to be straight, that I had to like women, none of that shit. None of that shit happened, right? None of that was a concern for a child. I wasn't 4 or 5 years old and my mother was coming up to me telling me, yeah, you gotta be straight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you like the pussy, you know what I'm saying? My stepdad never did that. He never came up to me and say, hey, man, let me tell you something, man. One day you're gonna run into some wet pussy. It's gonna feel good. You're gonna have sex, and you're gonna be straight. This is what you're gonna do. None of that shit happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they bought me they bought me toys and I played the Nintendo and all these things. I went outside, I played outside. I had experiences with girls just playing around outside. And I was humping girls at age 4 or 5 years old. Girls my age. We were humping and grinding and all throughout my little childhood, but we didn't understand what we were doing. You understand what I'm saying? We knew it felt good or whatever. Like, there was a natural attraction between me and girls. You understand what I'm saying? And we did things, whatever. I remember when I was a kid, when I was first going to school and all that, or maybe not first going to school, I think I was in first or second grade. And there was this girl in my class, and I used to like looking at the back of her knees. The back of her knees, okay? I felt sensation. I felt like, oh shit, that's nice. I felt a nice sensation in my head about the back of a girl's knee, okay? I'm a fucking, however old you are in the second or third grade, right? No big deal. But I didn't know what the fuck it was, right? I didn't know what I was going through. The back of her knees, what are you gonna do with the back of a girl's knee? You know what I'm saying? I thought girls peed out of their butt until I was in goddamn middle school. Even though the next door neighbor took my virginity when I was fucking 10 years old. She was 12. She was 10 years old. I mean, she was 12. I was 10. She took my virginity. Right? I knew it went up inside some warm, wet stuff, and then things happened. I know she didn't have the parts I had, because guess what? Leading up to that, for months and months and years that I've lived next door to her, we, used to touch each other. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't know at least I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I knew was this girl didn't have what I had. She had a different part than I had on her body. And she liked touching my part. I liked touching her part, because it was different. We were opposites. There was this natural attraction. You know what I'm saying? And then at some point she took it from me. You understand what I'm saying? Took my goddamn virginity. But guess what? No one, I didn't know what the hell it meant until later on. Right? It's of course you hear little things here and there about sex. You watch TV shows, your parents are watching something, you know what I'm saying? All these things. And at some point, when I was around 10 and a half, 11 years old, I figured out that that old girl took my virginity. Okay? Because now I'm getting more curious. I was curious about what the hell happened. Right? And I knew what a girl was, I knew what a boy was, I knew what a vagina was, I knew what a penis was. But no one told me that a penis is supposed to go in a vagina. No one told me that I'm supposed to this is what I'm supposed to do, knowing, you know what I'm saying? I figured it out on my own. I knew what the parts were. I didn't know what we were supposed to do with them, a boy and a girl, but I figured it out. But guess what? I never thought about, hey, this guy has a penis, I have a penis, we're boys, we both have penises, let's cross swords or some shit. No, there was none of that. I never felt any attraction toward a boy ever in my life. Not because I went and watched a show or a movie in school that told me that, oh, it's not okay to like boys. No, that never happened. There was no books, movies in school that told us, yeah, you're supposed to do this. You know, it's okay to suck a D if you're a boy. You know, all these things. You can be a girl if you want, if you're a boy. None of that. We didn't have that. None of that shit happened in school. Understand? None of that shit happened. But guess what? I had a natural attraction to girls. I wanted to be at a certain age, you know, young boys maybe pre-teen or, you know, before 10 years old. You think girls are gross and they got cooties and all this other shit. Yeah, girls had cooties. Yeah, girls will give you cooties and then you had to pass the cooties to your homeboy, whatever. They touch you and then you go run and you play tag or play it, you know, freeze tag, all that type of shit. But no one ever told me how I was supposed to feel towards girls. No one ever told me how I was supposed to feel toward boys. It was just something that I instinctively and naturally had in me. I had it in me to hump girls. I had it in me to, you know, play hide and go get it. All these things. These are things that, you know, and might it have been productive? It would have been more appropriate if my parents sat me down and explained it to me at a certain age, right? 10, 11, 12 years old, when you're going through puberty and you're starting to feel things understand things about yourself and explore things, you know, all that other shit. Yeah, it would be productive, you know. And of course, my mother being a woman and my stepfather being a dude, a straight couple, they're being very religious. They were Muslims, they're gonna say, and they did at some point said, yeah, you know. And I don't even think they ever said that I'm supposed to marry a girl or marry a woman or marry anybody. I don't think we ever had those types of conversations. But it might have been productive. But guess what? I figured it out on my own. My parents didn't feel the need to do that. I guess they felt like, well, we're giving them the example. We're married, a husband and a wife, a man and a woman, and this is what it is. We're going to live and operate in that world. We're going to lead by example, and then guess what? We're all pretty much straight, except for my younger sister. You know, she's a lesbian, but, you know, whatever happened there, I don't know. She likes girls. I mean, all I know is she used to have posters before I went to the Army. She had posters of Usher and Cisco on her goddamn wall. You know, she liked boys. As far as I knew, she liked boys. I mean, but again, she was young. I forgot what she was when I went to the Army. When I went to the Army, she was goddamn straight. When I got out, she was lesbian. All right? That's all I know. And even when I got back, I went to 24-hour fitness when I got out the Army. And I got me a membership at 24-hour fitness. And I would go to the gym, and I saw the rapper The Game, at the gym. And when I told my sister that I saw the rapper of the game, she freaked out. Okay? Like, freaked out like a girl freaking out over a boy that they're attracted to. My sister, who's basically, was she an adult? No, I think she was, when I got out of the Army, she was late teens. She goddamn was freaking out over goddamn the game. You know, she called herself a lesbian. But I can tell you what I think happened. Okay. The middle school that I went with, the middle school I went to when we moved to LA, because I went to a middle school in Compton, and then we moved out of Compton, so I had to transfer to middle school Audubon over in LA by Crenshaw High School. It's not by Crenshaw High School, but it's, you know, in the same vicinity. But she went to Audubon, and I know they were turning out a lot of girls at Audubon. And she was on the basketball team, and there was a lot of lesbians at Audubon. And I think she went and got turned out in middle school. That's what I think. Because like I said, she was in elementary school when I went to Army. When I got out, she's damn near, well, she actually is in high school, but she went to Audubon, and Audubon was known for that will turn girls out. Okay? It's known for that. So, and I don't know what made those girls, I don't know. But I started to see something. Okay, now we're talking about the 2000s. And I posit that they were working on this shit. Okay, motherfucker. You stupid ass motherfucker, man. I posit that they've been working on this shit for a while now. And they really started implementing it in like late 90s, 2000s. I don't know. It could have been the basketball coach. I don't know. But there was some reason there was just a lesbian fest at Audubon Middle School. I don't know what it was. Right? But if you go with the title of my previous live that I tried to do, the title was talking about that community co-opting rainbows and the word pride. How did we let that happen? Now a brother can't enjoy a rainbow. Now a brother I can't enjoy rainbows without thinking about the LMNOP community. And I can't say I have pride, especially in the month of June, I guess, without wondering if, well, maybe if I say that, will people think I'm gay or whatever? How is it that they have been allowed to co-opt rainbows and pride? I just don't understand that. And we need to take those words, we need to take that shit back. Okay? Rainbows and pride belongs to everybody. Like, you know how you have a good rain, and then after the rain clears, there's still some little moisture in the air, and then you get a rainbow. You get to see a rainbow. And you'd be like, well, I wonder if there's an end to that rainbow, because it's looking like it's starting on the ground here and going to the ground on the other side. But it's not. It's just a reflection, right? And it's an illusion. It's not hitting the ground. So there's no goddamn pot of gold or none of that shit. It's just a thing that happens in nature, and it's fucking beautiful. But can you say, oh, rainbows are beautiful, without people associating that with the LMNOP community? I don't think you can anymore. And then then the trannies, the Transformers, they took what colors, or whatever colors they got. And now, if a superhero has those same colors, or somebody on TV happens to wear those colors, the purple and the black, whatever the fuck, oh, now they're representing the trans community. How is it that they're just co-opting colors, they're co-opting pride? Who came up with gay pride anyway? But where did gay pride come from? Who came up with this? I'm just curious, because pride is a word that denotes like something that you have achieved, right? Something you have achieved that makes you feel good. That you actually put in some effort to achieve this goal, achieve this thing, and you have pride. You're proud of it. Like my son did good in school or whatever, and I'm proud of him for achieving all A's or whatever the hell. I'm proud of my daughter for doing this. I'm proud of my other daughter for doing that. I'm proud of my wife for losing 40 or 50 pounds, okay? Which happened, by the way. My wife went from 189 pounds or something like that, and now she's like 135. My wife lost a lot of weight. I'm proud of her, and it took her about a year, okay? It took her about a year, a little bit more than that, but I'm proud of her for getting her health in check, right? She didn't just lose weight, but she got in shape. I'm talking about through exercise and diet, you know what I'm saying? Going hard in the paint to make sure she's not just losing weight, but getting toned up, you know what I'm saying? Getting a little bit of muscle tone, getting healthy, getting stronger, going to the gym and lifting weights. She's been doing that. She's been doing a lot of cardio. Y'all know how I feel about cardio. I love cardio. And I'm proud of her for taking those steps and doing those things. Even though she ain't exercised in 13 years. And she had a bunch of kids. She had 6 children back to back. And now that we're done having children, she has been able to focus on herself and focus on getting her mind, body, and health right. So I'm proud of her for that. But what is it that a elemental P person has to be proud of? What does a transformer have to be proud of? So I like women. I like having sex with women, right? With my wife in particular. But should I be proud that I like having? Should I be proud of myself, or is that something that I just do? You know, is that an achievement? Being attracted to my wife and being attracted to women? Is there straight pride? Should I have straight pride? Should I be proud that I like women and not dudes? Is that something to be proud of, or is that just something that I naturally feel, or whatever, right? Should I be proud that I'm attracted to the opposite sex? I don't think so. So why should a elemental P person be proud that they are attracted to the same sex? What's there to be proud about? What's there for a transformer to be proud about? I mean, okay, so you dressed up as a girl, or you dressed up as a boy, and now you're going around dancing on stage, or like a drag queen, or drag queens should be proud? Maybe, I guess. They got on stage, they did their thing, and I don't know, put on a good show. Yeah, okay, so you can probably be proud if you're a drag queen and you're performing as an entertainer, and you did a good job. You got rave reviews. Okay, you can be proud of that, right? You can be proud of that achievement. But is it now your word? That word has to be associated with your lifestyle? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because you're going to be a cross-dresser and not a drag queen. So, a cross-dresser, you're just dressing up as the opposite sex. What kind of achievement is that to be proud of? You just did that. You know what I mean? Anyway, the kids, you know, you got kids out there in the world. I read about a story and saw a video in particular where kids in a middle school were heckling the teacher for trying to show them gay stuff, and the teacher threatened to make them go to Saturday school. So, you know, the kids are standing up, they're fighting back, and there was also an instance where children went to a school and the school tried to get them and coerce them into wearing pride flags and rainbows and this, that, and the third, wearing pride clothes. And many of the students refused and, in fact, wore the opposite style of clothing. And then they were talking about USA is my pronoun or whatever. I mean, kids, that's where it's going to start, right? The kids are going to change the tide. They're going to come to that age where they're going to have to start stepping up and fight for their own rights, right? Because they're trying to make it illegal to have any belief that goes against what they want you to believe. And we also have to stand up for our children. And there are parents out there that are doing that. Fortunately for me, my kids are homeschooled, so I ain't got to worry about it. But for those whose kids aren't homeschooled and you don't believe in these sexually deviant ideologies, y'all need to start standing up for your children. Y'all need to go to these goddamn school board meetings. Y'all need to do all that. Y'all need to make sure that your children are going to be in an environment that is conducive to learning what they need to learn, right? But it is what it is. And basically, in regards to the Clown Shoe Lucas, we know what the deal is. He said Target was right for selling pride clothing and selling tuck clothing to kids and binding, chest binding clothes to little girls. Maybe just so he can go against the conservative. I don't know, but it's sick. And I'm done talking about that guy, so whatever. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And that's all I got for now. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.